And welcome back to the X Games Aspen Invitational. Bravo and Elamite back in the booth after a short break. Coming up next is your bronze medal match. Now, Elamite, you and I were talking about it earlier. Typically, the third, fourth place match is not the most exciting of the tournament. However, we do have a serious game here because both Allegiance as well as the guys on Renegades want to leave here with an X Games medal.
Right. At this point, with both teams being, eliminated as far as their opportunities to win gold here at this event, this is everything that's left for them. And there is so much on the line. This isn't who's first, who's second, both walk away with money and medals.
Right.
This is somebody walks away with the bronze medal at X Games and somebody's going to walk away with nothing.
Right. That's it. And that's all they remember. Of course, winning an X Games medal, period, is not something many people can claim to have done. Four of the 8 players on stage will be leaving with one. Now, keep in mind, Allegiance and Renegades met up yesterday. You're watching some of that gameplay yesterday as we saw Stellar put on quite a show for his squad. But ultimately, that series, kind of told us what we might expect from this one.
Right, and we saw some great games yesterday as well, especially that Fathom CTF. A lot of controversy involved there. There was a great back and forth. It was tied up 2-2, some epic flag runs and returns there. So it was a great series to watch, and now there's even more on the line.
Right, and that controversy, of course, mainly due to that flag run, I believe, on Fathom CTF determining whether or not that was a good play. But now it's going to be a whole new ballgame for these two teams. First one game is going to be Strongholds Plaza, game number 2, Slayer on the rig. Looking at those two game types, Strongholds on Plaza is a pretty unforgiving game type right away, but take a look at this team matchup. Team Allegiance, Naded and crew want to leave home with some hardware. X Games Aspen 2016 will not be where Naded wins his first major live event, but he can still leave with a medal. The guys on Renegades, a newly formed squad, right? We're taking a look at them. Victory X, Stellar, Spartan, and Ninja, they too have their eyes on that same prize. Be a pretty big deal for players like Spartan and Stellar, right? You heard Spartan in a pregame interview earlier today. He's thrilled to be playing alongside someone with Victory X and have the opportunity to do so. For them to take home third place would be quite an accomplishment. On the other side, L-Town, Kratos, and Suspector as well, newer players to the game. They also want to make a name for themselves. But looking at this 7-game series once again, best of 7, winner takes bronze. Plaza Strongholds. Rig Slayer is game number 2. Coliseum Capture the Flag. Those are our first 3 game types. We'll definitely also see Empire Strongholds, and if needed, we'll go to the last 3 game types, but we'll talk about those later on in the series. Plaza Strongholds, the Elamite game type that, right off the gate, you're going to have to really come out with some really precision and deliberate control, right? In a Slayer, you can play a little bit sloppier. In a Flag, you can play a little bit sloppier. Maybe you lose control of the map a few times. As long as you're controlling your base, you're fine. In Strongholds, you better be controlling those points right away.
Absolutely. It's so important, and we've seen how back and forth that these games can go, especially on the Strongholds. Earlier today, we saw EG with a 60-second lead over Allegiance that they only got another 10 seconds throughout that game for Allegiance to come back and actually win. So we already know that Allegiance is superb at Stronghold game types. They excel on Plaza as well. We've seen some of their map rotations, what they can do with those weapons. But Renegades as well is a team that is extremely good on Plaza. They've had some great performances online in some of the qualifiers, and a lot of those came right down to Plaza.
Yes, they did, and that's going to be our first battleground. We will only see Plaza once. As a reminder, plenty of maps that we have to work with in Halo 5, so we'll see Rig, Coliseum, Empire, Eden, Fathom, and Truth. Not a single repeat in that best of 7. I believe we do have Ben down on the floor with L-Town and Victory X. Ben, what's going on?
Thanks, Bravo. As you said, down here with Victory X and L-Town. And going to start with you, L-Town. Obviously, commiserations, not going to be playing in the gold medal match. But your X Games run isn't over just yet. Of course, now you have that chance to play for bronze. But how have you and the team kind of regrouped after that last loss?
It was definitely a tough loss, but we got to get over it because we still have a chance to get a medal. So,
very true, very true. And of course, last time you played your oppositions in this bronze medal match, you actually won 3-1, I believe. Thank you, other casters who said 3-0. But 3-1 victory. So you must kind of have a little bit of confidence coming in.
Yeah, we definitely feel confident. And looking at 3-1 them again, maybe?
It's a best of 7.
4-1, sorry.
Okay, good. Maths is difficult. I'm just kidding. Looking at inside the booth, though, it seems a different vibe all of today, to be completely honest, than what we've seen the past couple of days. We're kind of used to seeing you guys getting energetic, getting excited. Haven't really seen much of that. Is that something we're going to see return here in this bronze medal match?
Yeah, we'll definitely be hyped for this series because can't lose a victory.
Fair enough. A little bit of trash talk, like it. Over to you, Victory. Of course, you're a very historic player. You've been in positions like this so many times. So what are you telling the more inexperienced players on your team right now?
Basically walked over, told them, They beat us 3-1 yesterday, but it's a new day, new match. Series is reset. We're going to try to come out of the gates hot this time, not go down initially in the series. And also, we need to work on closing our games, which we talked about just before this match. So,
Splinterades OP. That's what we learned. But in terms of what went wrong last time in the series when you two met, how are you going to try and change that this time?
So I actually talked about this. All we need to do is when we're going down, maintain our composure. And then also after the game, if we do manage to lose the game, forget about the game, shake it off, and start talking about the next game.
Makes a lot of sense. How difficult is that, though?
Oh, it's definitely very hard. Back when I was a young amateur, back about 10 years ago, we had a devastating loss. We were up 5-1 against a team, and then we didn't shake it off, and we ended up losing 6-5. So we need to shake off the losses and get in gear, start talking about the next games, and come out hot.
Well, wish both of you the best of luck, and obviously it can only be one winner for now. Back to the casters.
Victory X, a player that you and I actually have some history with. I coached Victory on both Triggers Down and Final Boss, as well as you team with him for a while as well. We'll have to see if his veteran leadership can get this team through the bronze medal match.
Right, he was actually mentioning a series that he had in the past. Well, I was actually part of that series as well. I was very unfortunate being up 5-1 and end up losing 6-5, but I am very glad that Victory was able to take the responsibility for that, because for all these years I was wondering whose fault it actually was.
Oh my gosh. Well, there you hear it. That was decided just now on stream. The ever tragic 6-game losing streak, I believe it was. It was a 6-game losing streak.
5-game.
Well, you're up 5-1, and then you lost the next 5. 5-game losing streak. We'll have to see if we see something like that in this series. Although it would have to be a 4-game losing streak, of course, in this best of 7. But teams are going to be duking it out now for this third place match, taking a look at players loading into Plaza strongholds. You know, I've liked what I've seen from Allegiance the entire weekend. I think they've shown great signs of success. On the other side, Renegades, I think, have yet to show us their best side. I think earlier today, they obviously did not come out strong against CLG, getting 4-0'd in that match. They also didn't win a series the day prior. They didn't win Friday either. So keep in mind, Renegades' last win, I believe, is actually Thursday, their match, which was a 3-0 win over Liquid.
Yeah, that is correct there. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
They had that loss against Epsilon, which
Right.
was, one of the few times we've actually seen a European team come over and beat a top-ranked
Right.
North American team. Definitely want to take a look at some of these keys to victory here for Renegades and make sure that they don't, fall into those same kind of slumps that they had there before. They need to make sure, as they were talking about in the interview, be able to shrug off the loss.
That's it, right? They actually haven't been winning these past 2 days. They have yet to see a series win. They need to shrug those off, bring the intensity they can. That's it. Keep up the high energy level. And I was talking to Spartan the Dog before that first game interview. I asked him if they thought they could bring the Thursday energy, and he said, I hope so. I'm not sure how confident I feel about that. Lastly, shut down Nated. If they can do that, they shut down the vocal leader. They shut down the player who can go off. But, Renegades, they came out so hot with a big surprise win against Team Liquid on Thursday. We haven't seen that same Renegades squad since that day. And now here we are Saturday. These teams are fighting for bronze, so they still have a little bit to fight for. And keep in mind, the team that gets third place is also going to have a little bit more momentum and confidence heading into North American regionals, right? The 3 teams that place in the medals here are going to be viewed as the favorites heading into the rest of the Halo World Championship.
Oh, absolutely. And you can't make any kind of argument there. The way that these top teams have come out and been able to dominate, they are showing themselves to be a step ahead of everyone else right now.
They definitely are, and I think we've seen that in the group standings, not necessarily with Group A, but I believe Group B at least, sending all those teams home. But keys to victory for Allegiance. First of all, it's the fight for bronze. That's what they need to do. They need to realize that there is an X Games gold medal on the line. Very few athletes and even fewer gamers have had a chance to fight for a bronze medal. This is their opportunity to do so. On the other side, Allegiance needs to shut down Ninja.
Right, and Ninja, we've seen some great things out of him, but we've also seen him get a little bit flustered and not have the greatest of games there. Right. So Ninja's definitely essentially the X factor here for Renegades, as you either see some great things out of him, or every once in a while there are some poor performances.
Right, yeah, we really need to see Ninja shine, and I don't think we've had that opportunity to. I'd love to get on board with him to see him racking up some multi-kills. We'll have to see if that'll be the case for them. And lastly, keep it chaotic. They thrive in that chaotic environment where they're constantly communicating. Call-outs are flying. Everyone's playing fast-paced. They need to keep it that way. If they let the game slow down, the likes of Spartan, Stellar, Ninja, and Victory X, of course, could control the pace of the game. Allegiance is a team that really thrives on that chaotic gameplay. So many Halo rosters throughout history, right, have been able to do that, have been able to play at such a fast pace. Allegiance is one of those rosters, and it's really, I think, brought about by first of all, the aggressiveness of Naded, right? If he's able to hold forward, I think his whole team can hold forward, push in, and just dominate the enemy.
Right, and it's a really interesting matchup as well, because Renegades is also a kind of team that likes it to be really chaotic there. I'm looking for big things out of Stellar and Spartan especially, Ninja being that X factor, but Spartan and Stellar, they've been consistently able to put up big numbers and lots of outplays that we've seen from these two players. They're extremely talented.
Certainly. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here, the teams remaining in this tournament. Of course, when we started the day, only 4 teams remained. It was Renegades, CLG, Allegiance, and EG. To recap, CLG able to 4-0 Renegades in a best of 7. CLG will move on to the gold medal match. And just now you saw Evil Geniuses beat Allegiance 4-2. They were never trailing in that series. And of course now this means that we have our bronze medal match, Renegades versus Allegiance, to determine that medal. But coming up later on after that will be CLG and EG. And Kyle, I have to say personally, I'm pretty excited for that because I believe we're going to have Benson and Walshy casting that match. And I just want to sit back and watch some Walshy commentary on a gold medal final match. That's going to be quite enjoyable, not only for us, but also for all of you at home. Once again, as a reminder, thank you so much for joining us on twitch.tv/HaloMLG.tv, as well as the Halo channel. Watch ESPN.com and ESPN3. For tuning in here and supporting pro competitive Halo. It's a pretty exciting and historic weekend for us to be here at the X Games, sharing the mountain with some of the best extreme sports athletes in the world, to have everyone here in that same space representing teams from Germany, teams from the UK, as well as North American squads. It's a pretty special weekend, and we thank you for joining us.
Right, and what's interesting as well is both of these series are actually going to be replays from earlier in the weekend. The quick 3-0 for CLG over Evil Geniuses, and then it was also the 3-0 of Allegiance over Renegades.
I think the 3-1 Ben had said. I don't exactly remember the exact score either, but these two teams, like you said, have met previously, and like you said, CLG, EG, EG wants revenge over CLG, and that is also, we got to talk about that. It's a grudge match, right? Lethal, now on CLG, left the Evil Geniuses roster only about 11 or 12 days ago, and now here we are seeing these two teams duke it out to determine, is Lethal's departure justified? So far, with CLG undefeated in this tournament, it certainly seems like Lethal somehow knew that this was the roster that would bring him success in the Halo World Championship, but EG still has the opportunity to stand up and say no.
Right, and Lethal was in a great position where he was going to have success either way he went. He kind of pictured in his mind that, one, he's making CLG better, but he's also hurting EG in the process. So there's a lot more than just picking up the best player when you're actually able to help eliminate other competition. Now, EG, obviously, with the commonly addition there, think they can replace Lethal and still perform at a higher level, or even a higher level than they were doing. But interesting decisions, and this rematch is going to be insane.
And Commonly's feeling good as well. He just took to Twitter to say that it's his rookie season and he's guaranteed X Games Gold or X Games Silver. That's quite an accomplishment. But you have to wonder, the Zyos complex, right? Will he possibly be happy with X Games Silver because it's his rookie season, right? Is he one of the few players in the finals that actually, and for good reason, might be okay with that silver medal? You got to hope that's not the case if you're an EG fan.
Yeah, and that's kind of like something that we saw from Renegades almost. They came out and they looked like the most dominant team at the tournament when they were playing against Liquid. And then they come out next match and they lose the European team, which we haven't even seen before. So completely different teams that we can see out of Renegades. So they really need to make sure they're bringing their A game here to this match. And beating Allegiance, even though they were 3-0, there were some close games previously. So absolutely possible of finishing with a bronze medal.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing if Renegades can be a different team than we've seen the entire weekend. Focusing now back on the match at hand, this bronze medal match, Renegades versus Allegiance. I want to see if Renegades can prove to us that they're a little bit of a different squad. On your screen, you see Ninja there next to Spartan. They need to come out at a very different form if they want to steal that third place medal. Now, remember, Renegades just recently picked up by the top esports organization under a new name now. X Factor, of course, is Ninja. They're one of the first teams to beat EG in Halo 5 tournament play. And we have to say, Victory and Ninja, I had forgotten that they had placed 4th, 5th for 5 straight events under Cloud9. Of course, they were together during Halo 2 Anniversary. This is their chance to kind of redeem that. They've already guaranteed 3rd, 4th here. So a little bit of a better placing so far, but they want to make that 3rd. And lastly, got to talk about Stellar, who just joined from Optic Gaming. I personally had not had a chance to see a lot of his gameplay prior to this event, and I've been impressed.
Oh, he was absolutely one of the best players on Optic, if not the best player. Definitely he's happy that he was able to make this transition because that team was struggling here for the World
You kind of have to make it out alive, right? Whenever there's a team that isn't able to break into the placing that you see fit, you need to try to make that team change. So that's what we saw for a player like Stellar now. He's playing for the bronze medal. You know, he's got to be happy about that, but won't be happy until he comes out of that booth as a winner.
Oh, absolutely here. And he just felt, just the same kind of things that Lethal did. His best chances of winning weren't with Optic and are in fact going to be with the Renegades here.
That's right. And that you'll see these teams make those roster changes if they don't feel like they have the recipe for success. Smile there on the faces of Kratos and Nate as they're getting ready to play here. Our bronze medal match game number 1 is going to be Strongholds on Plaza. Looks like all the players are in and ready to go. Going to be getting this match up in just a second. As a reminder, Strongholds is a territory-based game where you score 100 points to win the game. 12 minutes are on the clock, and you need to control 2 out of the 3 points to begin scoring. Whoever is a controlling majority will put points on the board, and that results in some crazy tug-of-war game styles. But let's go ahead and talk once again about Allegiance and their X Factor, Nated. It's a completely new roster for Halo 5 Guardians. However, it's one of the most consistent that we've seen through the Halo World Championship.
Absolutely. Definitely one of the most consistent, giving them that first place seed, as well as the one that has been, together the longest here. So we highlighted on that before. There was that roster mania where all these team changes were happening. You got Stellar leaving Optic to join Renegades. You've got the obviously CLG EG changes happening. But who wasn't affected by that was this Allegiance squad.
That's right. And now we'll talk about the 2 X Factors in this game going up against one another, Ninja and Nated specifically. We got to see which one's going to shine, right? Only one will perform throughout this series. Perform and come out on top throughout this series. Here they are. Ninja, of course, known as that hype man. I think Nated can even be given that title too. Ninja can get really loud, he can get really hyped, and he thrives under intense situations, known to go off in matches as well. But I have to say, not necessarily the most consistent player throughout competitive Halo history, right? Ninja, like you said, there's an on Ninja, there's an off Ninja. The same can be said for Nated, though. 2 different types of Nated you can get. There's one that is on, intense, loud, ready to go. And then if you get Nated who's a little bit quieter, you might not get the slaying power that you normally expect out of them. For those reasons, that's why they are our 2 X Factors.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a really good point as well. Like, these players' talent is so high that in order to win, they really need to be pulling off the best clips they can, having the best shots possible, and that's what makes them the X Factor, the ability to pull off these huge plays.
Yes, indeed. So Plaza is our first battleground. You may recognize this from previous series in the game. Of course, Stronghold's a little bit of a different weapon layout. You're going to find that railgun up top. So we're going to jump into this match, and I think we do need to kick things off with the veteran here. His name is Victory X. You saw him rocking the Detroit beanie here representing Michigan. He's going to fly out, maybe grab the BR. Looks like yes, indeed, as he heads towards Nest and Snipe.
Right, and I believe you had the opportunity to coach Victory X as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, coaching Victory is a fantastic player, super consistent, solid communicator early, and he just does what he needs to do to get things done. He will fall early, though, so we'll go over now to Stellar.
Right, and we do have one hill being locked down by Allegiance now, and Stellar running for the shotgun. One of the things about Halo 5 is there's so many different weapons, and there are so many different huge benefits associated with them. That shotgun has so much damage output, you cannot leave these weapons on the map for the opposing team to get.
Now, right now, it looks like early points on the board here for Allegiance as Renegades and crew are trying to control this top middle. Gotta love that grenade there. Stellar also with shotgun in hand, so going to try to do some damage. Look at that! Storm Rifle was coming in. One of the few things that can stop that in that amount of time is the shotgun here. A triple kill from Stellar to open the game. And look at them, they're now controlling bottom mid. That's what they need to do.
And I think we need to get a Halo 5 Gold Rec pack after that. That was a fantastic heads-up play. He pushed in the yard, picked up the shotgun. If he had not picked up the shotgun, that triple kill would not have happened. He would have died to that Storm Rifle. That
Storm Rifle would have taken him out immediately, but instead gets the better of that. Nated going to use this little quick jump up there, but it looks like a player came flying in for a split second with the ground pound. And I'm not sure if he killed him. I could be mistaken there, but it looks like he was trying to get a kill, and he might have left that player. Now back over to Victory X. Allegiance has a lot of points on the board, though, so we're going to be keeping an eye on their POVs as well.
Right, and light rifle in the hands of Victory X. This is a 3-shot kill if you hit that last zoomed-in 3-shot kill if you hit the headshot for the last shot there. So it's a great and powerful weapon. Not quite as strong as, like a sniper rifle, but you're able to get a lot of shots down, a lot of damage, and, the gun itself has, a decent amount of ammo in it, so you can absolutely shoot multiple players.
Yeah, it looks like actually Stellar getting a really good play on Suspector off screen. Suspector able to land the melee on Stellar despite the fact that he had the shotgun. Will stay on board with the victory, but they're not getting the points on the board that they need to. They're already down 30 now to 3 in this game. As you see, 2 points have been controlled by Allegiance throughout the entire time. Victory trying to put down shots, but it looks like it has not been enough to get them control.
Right, and they actually just captured that bottom mid hill now as well, so they are starting to put some points on the board, and they just grabbed the new camo. This is really good situation for Renegades to be in right now.
Right, they're going to go ahead and try to capture Nest. We'll see if we can get a listen-in ready with Renegades in just a moment, as Victory X will fall, though. So we'll go over to Ninja, who has the railgun here at Nest.
And that was actually kind of a big misplay there, and wow, did we just see the railgun run into that light pole?
I think he did hit the light pole there with the rail. That was good shots there from Spartan as he cleans up that shot. They lose control once again, but let's see what Renegades are up to in the booth here. I'll listen in with them as they're down 40-10.
Right, and you just kind of highlight on that camo play. Victory had the camo. That's when you need to change your playstyle. He was playing like he did not have camo, and there's a huge misplay, creating an opportunity for a triple cap here for Allegiance.
All right, now see Spartan off the respawn. You know, I have to say total control is actually going on the hands of Native. We haven't spent enough time with Team Allegiance throughout this, so we'll actually go ahead and change that to a Team Allegiance listening in just a bit, but we'll find out when that's ready. But they are up 53-10 here, and they're just maintaining control. For a second, they had total control. Let's go inside the booth with Team Allegiance.
That's one shot. It's Ninja.
Got him, let's wait, got him, let's wait, got him, let's one shot, got him, let's one shot.
That's one shot.
Trying, where's he?
You want bomb camo?
What's that dip? He's one shot dip right now.
Take him bottom middle.
Guys, dip.
Nice.
Close. Yeah, dip, they're weak. I died. Bottom mid, what's up, please? Another one in truck. What's up, please? Another one in truck. Go on, he's been mid, middle. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, reset.
I'm going top side. No, BRA killed me. He's a hotel.
Let me
I'm pushing this.
I have a shotty.
47 camo. He's squatting on side left.
Camo 20 seconds, 47 camo.
It's gonna be roughly around 47. Bottom middle, one shot of max minigun. Nice, do that, we have numbers. Camo soon, guys. Truck.
I got him.
Camo in about 5 seconds, it's gonna be about 45.
Okay, I'll go for it. I will go for it.
47, 45.
I'm gonna cap yard.
Guys, are you pushing in a circle? I killed one.
I'm capping yard.
I don't know what
They got it last.
He's top left.
Fuck, man.
Is it up?
41. They have
41?
it, yes. They have it, 41. They have a shoddy camo.
No, watch bottom mid, guys. Just watch bottom in here. Trying to live. We're getting it already.
Watch bottom mid, guys.
Chuck weak. Watch out, Chuck. Dead. No one. Camo got mid. Camo got in the middle pillar. He's on Prius with camo.
They're going for triple cap, guys.
Watch out, yard, absolute yard.
I'm just going for yard. He's garden ledge, guys. Garden ledge. Yard weak, Ninja. One shot. No one garden ledge, I think. Yeah, just cap yard, guys. Hurry. Camo guy. Nice.
More yard, guys. They're desperate in this.
They'll get him or no?
No, he's one shot yard, guys. Two goals all.
I'm getting nest. We can get nest maybe?
Garden ledge.
Tom nest right now. I can't get him. Tom nest is. Tom nest is in dip. Bottom mid, guys. 2 and dip. Bottom mid. Bottom mid. Porn killed me. Fuck. Gotta get yard, man. You're last one, dude.
All right, now staying on board with L-Town through that respawn. Take a look at the scoreboard. Allegiance is up 83-37. However, total control in favor of Team Renegades. So you heard Nate saying, we need to get this now. We cannot let them continue to climb back here. I mean, Allegiance is still in a really good position. As you see, they finally take control there of their first, but they need to make sure that they close out this game.
And there were some great plays out of Spartan. I wanted to highlight there. I knew before the series even started, he was going to be a huge factor for this game. He actually was top snipe, dropped down, killed shotgun guy who was waiting for camo, picked up multiple other kills, and was the reason for that triple cap.
And they're scoring once again, so we'll go over to L-Town. We'll stay with Allegiance here. Points on the board. They only need 13 more to close out the game. Keep in mind, we're only playing to 100 points here. 6 minutes left, but we certainly won't need all of that time. L-Town and Allegiance are trying to get bottom mid here, but they will fall. We'll see if Suspector's in a position to push in as well. He's also trying to make that same push.
Right, and looks like Allegiance, they're trying to do the BR base and the bottom mid strat, but it's actually not working out for them at all. We have another triple cap coming out from Renegades. This lead here, they were just getting destroyed the entire beginning of the game, and they've had 2 long triple cap opportunities now.
I have to say, Ninja has been dominating with the rail. I got to go over to Ninja, trying to find that camo player. Looks like he might actually get the better of L-Town here. Yes, he does. Big shots against the camo player. They're starting to bring this game back. Look at this, 66-91. Another triple cap from Renegades. What gameplay from them. They still have control of 2. They're just going to try to hold on. They don't really have any room for error here, Elamite. They don't want to lose control one more time. It would be too difficult to get back.
This is incredible play from Renegades. I thought this was going to be one of the fastest strongholds we've seen today, but it is the exact opposite. It is huge comebacks from Renegade. great plays. Ninja with the railgun here, picking up multiple kills. That kill on Camo guy, can't even stress how important that was.
Oh, it was a huge kill, and that's really allowed them to maintain control of this map area. Will he hit the railgun? Looks like he will miss, but he does get the melee against L-Town. Somehow gets a great trade. A very big play indeed. Now over to Stellar here on Renegades. They still have control of 2 of the 3. They're only down by 10 points now, but he will fall. 2 players down for each side, it looks like. Now over to Victory X.
Right, and this is when Allegiance, they need to make sure they don't panic here. This game is getting so close, I cannot believe.
They brought it back by, I think, about 40 or 60 points here. Look at these 2 players top middle, so Renegades are in trouble. We'll go back over to Suspector here. He has the railgun in hand in his back pocket. He's desperately trying to make something happen for Team Allegiance. I believe he's going to get nested. Yes, they are scoring again, so Allegiance right here could pull away. They also have bottom mid. They're about to triple cap as well to get total control. If they do, it'd be too much too late. I believe that is going to be it for Renegades in this match. As Allegiance now triple cap 98, only a few seconds left with 3 of the points here. They only have 2, but that'll be it, I believe. Yes, they will close it out. Allegiance manages to sneak by 100 to 88, almost forfeiting what looked like a surefire win throughout that match. So I've been saying it since Thursday. Allegiance has the drive to finish those games. Even when it looks like they're about to lose an entire lead or an entire game, they always rally back to win.
Right, and that is a heartbreaking loss for Renegades. They got off to a bad start, but what they were able to do, they were able to prove that they are an incredibly talented team that can hold a setup and keep Allegiance on their spawn cycles, holding those triple caps for that amount of time. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late there, and Allegiance was able to turn it around with their own triple cap.
Yeah, Stellar right there, 19 kills on the other side for Renegades, so certainly putting up numbers, but it was not enough as Allegiance managed to get that composure towards the end of the match. They got the nest hill, they even got the bottom mid hill after presumably spawning in yard at some point to triple cap at the end. And that was actually a very important triple cap. It's really good they went for bottom mid there, right? Because they got slowed down a bit. We only had 2 caps. The triple cap was stolen away at about the 96 mark. So it was pretty important that the triple cap there.
Oh, absolutely here. And just to keep them on the spawn, Renegades knew they couldn't just run to yard and try to cap that because it was too close to the end of the game. So they really didn't have many opportunities. They had to push down the street, and Allegiance was already pre-nading that location. They knew exactly that Renegades didn't have an option here. If they wanted to win this game, they had to make a play, and they shut them down.
Yeah, and it looked like for a while there, Ninja and his run with the railgun looked really good. He was able to stay alive. He also got that kill on L-Town, who had camo, was able to find that player. So almost brought them back. Stellar, like we said, had some awesome plays, but when Allegiance gets so close, this is what I'm talking about. You can't let Allegiance get so close to the end, like the 91 mark, because they will close it out. And that's what we saw. Even though it took them a few different pushes and they sacrificed 30 or 40 points, eventually they got that final push. And when you're looking at a team like Allegiance, chances are is that they will, if they have 4 or 5 opportunities to push out of their base, one of them is going to be successful. It indeed was. They win the game 100 to 88. Game number 2 is going to be Slayer on the rig. Now, Kyle, I like this game type a lot. It can get slowed down. You can actually start to see some of the positions on the map, right? The angles. Compare it to a little bit like something like a Lockout Slayer, where you can actually see teams actually kind of slow down and like look at doorways, look at pushes, right? We're going to actually see how this map works in terms of sightlines, whereas in a game like Strongholds, it is so fast-paced.
Oh, absolutely. The rig Slayer, this is one of the maps where a lot of times you just don't see it go to the first 50 or the full 50 kills. You know, the Slayer, it is Team Slayer, it is the 50 kills, but it is a time limit as well. You do not need to reach 50 in order to win the game type.
That's right. Looking forward to seeing Rig Slayer. You know, we saw a few people on social media asking if we can get some pro players, pro coaches in the booth, and I believe we're actually going to have Towie joining us in the booth. He's a Halo genius. I can't wait to have him cast game number 2 with us. So we'll be right back. We're going to get him in the booth, and we'll be back with Game 2 Slayer in just a moment. We'll be right back.
All hail the conquering hero. Let us remember him as our protector, and not the one who gave us this. As our savior, and not our betrayer. Let us see him forever as you, and not as you. All hail the conquering hero. The one who was supposed to save us all. But now I must save us from you.
Prepare for the hunt with Xbox One and the Master Chief Collection, now $349.
What's up YouTube, my name is Errol the Hot Tamale and I'm here on the Epidemic here to show you guys an awesome map feature. Today we are looking at Drive-Thru by Pandas for Life. This is an aesthetic map featuring a McDonald's, a gas station, and a car repair shop. I've never worked at McDonald's.
Hey, welcome back to the X Games Aspen Invitational here. Bravo in the booth, now joined by Towie. Towie, I could not be more excited to have you with me here.
Very
Often
glad to be
regarded
here.
as the best coach in the game, coach of EG. You guys are waiting in the gold medal match, which will be happening in just a bit. But tell me what you think of this series so far. I mean, we only saw that first Strongholds on Plaza, but Allegiance and Renegades, you guys have been watching these guys all weekend long.
Yep.
What are you seeing in this match?
Well, so far, Allegiance has just been playing really aggressive and really well together. Especially in that last game, you saw them get that one setup that held control for so long. Especially on that game type, it's really hard to break a setup if you can hold it, really well, and that ultimately ended up winning them the game.
That's right. I mean, of course, you guys have to be feeling good about your earlier match as well. You're now in the gold medal match. You're going to face off against CLG. I can't wait to see that match. You guys feeling good?
Feeling really, really good. Really good. Very excited to play CLG.
All right. Of course, that's going to be coming up in just a bit. But now to focus on the match at hand, the battleground is going to be the rig here. We're going to see Rig Slayer. Towie, let's see. We're going to go ahead and start things off here with Naded on Team Allegiance. But I have to say, on this map, how do you feel about this? How fast is this play? I know this game type can get pretty slow at times.
Yep. You saw Naded start here with a really smart play. For Slayer specifically, you want to be spawning where they are on the red side. He naded Sniper off to himself.
Yep.
And it seems like they're trying to go for complete setup here off the start.
And it looks like he has help. Yep, and they're going to get that kill as
Two dead
well.
off the start, and they're going to try to go for full control here.
Yes, indeed. 3-0. So when you have when you get those kills, right, what spawn specifically are you watching for right here?
Right here, you are just looking to try to not let those two guys push on one specific side. So you see L-Town went over to top engine, and Naded taking a sniper spot here in top bunker. So it seems like it's come down to somewhat of a standstill while they try to anticipate where the push will be coming from.
Now we'll go ahead and looks like Naded not seeing too much action here. Of course, he has to watch those sightlines, but we'll see what his teammates are up to. So Spectre specifically is getting in some battles here on Cat as well, going to try to hold down top middle.
Yep. It seems like they are definitely playing this very slow. That was a really good play to try to keep control of Snipe. The most important thing to do right now is to block these spawns. If they are too aggressive out towards the outside, they're going to actually spawn behind you. So it is Naded's job to try to block that spawn. And as you can see, he is backing up now to try to block these spawns in bunker.
And we'll go ahead and show Naded once again as he still is in the exact same spot we left him about 30 seconds ago. He's going to try to get a vantage point over into Nest, and yes, indeed, he will connect with Stellar's helmet, giving them a 10-4 lead here. They're, of course, looking to go up 2 games in this best-of-7 series. Now, he keeps watching that spot. Of course, it's really important. You don't want to let them on that side of the map through the Nest bridge right there.
Yep. I mean, when you're on the Renegade side of the map right now, you want to just try to slow it down and wait for whatever advantage you can take advantage of, or whatever you can use to get a pick or possibly a power-up or power-up in like camo to push and try to break the setup. You can't give away these easy deaths that Naded was able to just pull
right
off
there. He's able to hit that shot. Of course, there's going to be a double kill for Naded. Can he hit the triple kill? We'll go ahead and see. No, he eventually gets taken down by Stellar. So we'll jump on board with Renegades for the first time. They're not down by much. It's only 6-13. They have Snipe in hand. They can bring it back.
Absolutely. One of the most important things there is to try to be with your teammates as well. It's kind of surprising that no one on Allegiance was nearby to be able to clean up the kill that Naded had or pick up that sniper after.
Right, especially when he got that melee, which arguably maybe he shouldn't have gotten, right? So he had a pretty good play there, set his team up for success, but now 9-14, Sniper still in the hand of Stellar.
Yep. This is a really good job by Stellar to rotate back towards these spawns. This is the setup that you want to have on Slayer. You saw Allegiance try to hold this down at the beginning part of the game, and now Renegades is holding the same setup.
Right, kind of the same base trade here. They're going to sit, and you can tell how important this angle is because Stellar is visiting, like you said, the exact same spot.
The most important angle is to watch that bottom nest SMG type push over on the left, on bottom end.
As soon as they get low, obviously they can really start to rip your setup apart as he's trying to find out which player might have actually pushed SMG, and yes, he indeed found someone. Oh, that's a pretty
very
good
heads-up play.
Yep, that's a really, really good push there from the other side. As we'll now go over to Kratos, who got the sniper rifle in hand. He was watching SMG as well, and it looks like these teams are just literally trying to control BR base.
Yep, this is a very important part of the game, though, as you see Allegiance is able to hold control and get this new sniper to top rail.
And I have to say, we have Kratos and Naded with sniper rifles in hand. So here's the look at Kratos, and also that's the sideline he's watching. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at Naded with sniper rifle in hand in T2, and he's able to pick that kill up. So you gotta love it. He'll shoot at anything that looks like an enemy as he finds
Naded does not
a dead body on the back stairs.
Anyone and anything.
As he and his team now have control of 20-13. Once again, I mean, this is the theme here, constantly watching that SMG push.
Yep. It seems like Allegiance is making these pushes, though. I don't understand. They have 2 snipers. They should really play this as cautiously as possible and let their team pick apart Renegades.
Right, they're just kind of
giving away these deaths that I don't understand.
But, oh my gosh.
Heads up snipe by Naded, though.
Naded has teed that one up before. You know that. He kind of dodges behind the pillar and just tees that no scope up. 24-15. They're still looking good here, but you're right. I don't think they're playing perfect Halo just yet. They could play a little bit more conservative, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you have almost a perfect setup here, full ammo and snipe. You know, they can set up here for this next camo. They have control of the side of the map you want to have, and they're still basically trading, it feels like.
All right, and those plays here from Allegiance have earned a Halo 5 rec back, but we'll go ahead and see what's going on with the Renegades side as well. We haven't seen too much from them yet, so we'll go to Victory X, who's trying to get some kills here at top middle, but of course he's going to have to engage with Kratos and Naded, both of which still have snipers.
Yep. It's important to keep an eye on camo here, too.
Yeah, we're looking across all 8 screens here at the desk and trying to see when that might drop. And it looks like we have several players on each side keeping an eye on it. It looks like we're actually going to see L-Town, who's trying to make a play towards it as he controls top middle. Victory X doesn't actually know that he's just around the corner, so we'll have to see
This
which
is a good
team.
play by Cam, though. I mean, they did just go 2 down, so it's important for him to not give up these unnecessary deaths and try to wait for his teammates to spawn.
Right, yeah, they're down by a significant margin here. Of course, they don't want to give up any more free kills either. L-Town will fall, so Renegades slowly inching
We'll
themselves.
see if they can try to make a push here. They do have numbers, and it's important to try to take advantage of that while you can.
Yes, I'm taking a look. Also, still sniper rifles still in the hand. Looks like Kratos' sniper is out, but Naded still does have sniper control. So Victory's going to try to make a push here, possibly if he can get his opponents weak. And it looks like now 21-30 still to score. That plasma caster is in play.
A really good flank by Suspector here, though. I don't know if Renegades was on top of the spawns. He was able to push around behind them while they were trying to push barrels and rail side of the map.
And I don't know if they know he's there. It looks like he might be there. It looks like Kratos has also come across the map as well. So once again, a little bit of another base trade as they try to get control of this area. But somehow, Victory.
Somehow Cam staying alive. It's a really good play. Obviously, his teammates will be around him.
Yep.
A good cleanup kill. They're really right back in this game. They did more of a base swap there than we thought.
And here you go with a nice storm rifle. Oh my goodness, but Stellar picks
from
up
Stellar.
the perfect kill. That means he hit that in a perfect 4-shot fashion. So Renegades and crew will be down 25.
This next camo will be very crucial.
All right, we're keeping an eye here, and it looks like, of course, I do believe we have another weapon dropping as well. You just heard that audio cue, and Stellar might be able to pick that up, but no, he finally goes down, but presumably he does have teammates around, but I'm surprised at how much damage we just saw from Allegiance there. As we'll go back on board with Naded, who's picking up a double
All
kill.
4 of them just died. That's very, very unfortunate.
That's right, and I think, of course, everyone's setting up here, waiting for that camo. That's why Naded is hanging around here to see exactly when it might be popping up. Looks like still not up just yet, and he looks like he might be able to grab the active camo.
A really good job of predicting when camo would come up. I'm not sure if they had the exact time.
It looked like they didn't have the exact time, right?
Yeah.
He was there a little bit early for them to actually know that exact timing, but regardless, I got to say, the fact that he put down the shots, jumps, then YYs, that's pretty good control.
Yeah, it was amazing control. It's surprising that he wasn't able to be cleaned up there. That's one of the most important kills you're going to have in the whole game, and Stellar got him to one shot.
Victory X might surprise, and that's exactly what happened. Victory
A very
X,
surprising play with
look
camo
at that.
there.
He just jumps up and bashes Naded there to get to the melee, and then they're able to clean it up. So 30-39 now. Renegades is down by 9 kills. This is still possible for them to do, but they would need to play.
Absolutely possible. They just need to get one good setup, and they can run with it for the rest of the game.
That's it now. Victory X trying to push across, sees that Stellar has died on his team. That's that BBB service tag. But it looks like
the Suspector does have sniper here, though, and he is not near any of his teammates. He's trying to play as cautiously as possible. It's important for him to try to move and rotate towards his teammates' spawn to keep control of that sniper.
He sees nades coming in, so he's going to have to play a little bit cautious here now, focusing on Nest. Of course, needs to keep an eye on top and bottom middle to make sure no one might push through there. 44-33 is the score. Next camo won't be up for a little while as you see his teammates spawning around L-Town now. And look at that hit shot there.
At this point in the game, there's really no margin of error for Renegades. They need to make one extremely strong push together and try to just take advantage and capitalize on guys that they can get weak.
I mean, how do you,
give up those easy
and
deaths.
as a coach, how do you slow your team down to remind them that they don't have the luxury of pushing here? How do you get that coordinated push?
You know, you really just need to wait for your teammates to spawn and then communicate who is going to be going where and slow it down. And that's really hard to do in such a fast-paced game, but at this point in the game where they can only give up 3 deaths and still win the game, you have to be able to coordinate that better.
Absolutely. Look, I love what I'm seeing from Suspector, too. He stays alive, though, even though those grenades are coming in. Tries to get Ninja, but Ninja finally...
That was a really good job for Renegades. I mean, they gave up no deaths there.
That's right. Now, Spartan actually came around the flank. That's who ended up cleaning that kill up. He has that scatter shot in hand, so he's going to be able to pick up that kill.
Extremely unlikely that you can make this type of a comeback, but it is certainly possible, and it seems like Allegiance has gotten somewhat careless in closing out the game.
Yep, that's exactly it. Normally, they have quite a strong finish throughout this tournament so far, but now it's like 39-48. Like you said, Allegiance probably going to be able to close out this match now 40-48. If they were able to somehow slow this down.
Camo, try to predict some spawns,
but
it looks stay alive, most important.
But that's actually like a back deck flank, it looks like, for them. So I think it was L-Town actually who was leading that back charge. He's going to try to drop down to finish the kill. 49-40. This might be the last one. Looks like, yes, indeed, he cleans it up. L-Town dropping down with the AR. Now, Towie, you and I talked about it, that back push around the back of the map, right? So important. You can't try to cut across nest to basement. You need to control that back deck.
Yeah. We saw the same push repeatedly from both teams kind of as they were trading more or less in the beginning of the game. And it seemed like towards the end, Allegiance was able to get sniper control and then top rail control and just kind of make Renegades play at their pace.
That's right. Now taking a look at the stats, Suspector 15-11, and on the other side as well, Native 13-8. So big positive numbers from them. Down low, we did have another poor performance from Victory X there, 3-12, as well as other opponents there going negative and even. So Spartan, the only player there, 13-9 to go positive for his squad. So Allegiance, once again, I think overwhelming. They had such a great start, and it carried them through.
Sure. One of the things to take away from those stats, too, especially for Victory, he might have been the guy that was either left on a poor spawn cycle or flanking. He's known for his flanks, and he makes a lot of those types of good pushes. But if their team isn't on the same page with those pushes, or if he's expects help and it's late help, he can get on that bad spawn cycle that can rack up those deaths pretty easily.
Yeah, that's it indeed. So that means that Allegiance is going to go up 2-0 in the series over Renegades. Renegades have quite a hill to battle back up. We'll go ahead and take a look at the series layout once again. Here you see Allegiance winning game number 1 and game number 2. Coliseum capture the flag is going to be next. Towie, before we bring Elamite back in, tell me, Coliseum CTF, what do Renegades need to focus on if they want to bounce back in the series?
I mean, power weapon control is going to be huge, but snipe control is more important. You can rotate around the spawns, you can watch the spawns pushing into their base, getting to their cave, and then running flag through the snipe side is going to be the most important thing. Staying alive, and especially not giving up those easy deaths. A lot of the times in this last game, we saw them die individually or be too aggressive in certain situations, and they really need to eliminate those single deaths.
That's right. We'll have to see if they can do that here in this next series. Towie, I want to thank you so much for joining us in the
booth.
And even more importantly, wish you best of luck in that gold medal match that's coming up against you and CLG. It's going to be a nail-biter, and I can't wait to watch here from the crowd. We'll be back in just a moment with game number 3 coming up right now.
Over the course of 70 years, the Office of Naval Intelligence attempted to create the most elite soldiers in the history of the UNSC. Biologically augmented and fitted with advanced battle armor, these super soldiers were known as Spartans, harkening back to the legendary warriors of ancient Greece. In 2491, the Office of Naval Intelligence launched the Orion Project, the first large-scale effort to create a class of soldiers strong enough to effectively quell what was, at the time, a mounting rebellion. Soldiers like Avery Johnson and hundreds of others volunteered to undergo a series of biological augmentations which would make them physically superior to all other human beings. Despite their success, this program was plagued by cost issues as well as a number of other physical side effects, and eventually it was canceled in 2506. Roughly 10 years later, another project would come to fruition, this one under the guidance of the esteemed and brilliant Dr. Catherine Halsey.
All right, and welcome back here to the Halo World Championship. Game number 3 coming up just a bit in our bronze medal match here is going to be CTF Coliseum. You're watching Renegades go up against Team Allegiance. Elamite back in the booth with me, Kyle. That's Slayer on the rig. I mean, Allegiance was just a little bit too strong there throughout that entire match. Renegades look like they might have been able to push back, but, I mean, when you're looking at a game type like Slayer on the rig, it's so different from Strongholds, right? I mean, the map really slows down. It splits in half, and if you aren't pushing with your team at all times, you're going to end up on the losing end of the match.
Right. We've actually seen a lot that the teams that outslay the opposing team on the Stronghold game types were actually not the ones to win the Slayer game, so just completely different play style. You just really can't compare the two to each other.
That's right. So Coliseum CTF is going to be next. Of course, 3 flag caps to win, 12 minutes on the clock. And as Towie was starting to say, whichever team is able to lock down the opponent's cave, we're going to point that out during the game, but whichever team can lock out their opponent's really right-hand or left-hand corner, depending on which side, and then start to run that flag along the sniper side of the map, generally is going to be able to run those flags home. We saw Team Liquid actually perform a few textbook setups with it. We saw a few teams fail with that if they try to run a bridge at the last second, but this here is Coliseum. You're taking a look. It's one of the widest and most open spaces. However, when you're playing Capture the Flag, this map actually gets really small on the snipe side of the map as everything starts to really be focused around that sniper control, that catwalk control, as well as clearing out your fountain as well as the enemy's fountain. So let's go ahead and kick things off here with Ninja on Team Renegades. They're down 2-0 in our bronze medal match. As a reminder, the winner here will walk away with X Games hardware at Winter X, and the loser will go home empty-handed. Ninja wants to put up a fight here in this match as he goes out and pushes Rocket side.
Right, and he just ran up to try to get control of those rockets, but he gets up top and then realizes
they're
gone.
already gone, right? So potentially those were already, I believe, plasma grenaded by the opponent as they were able to get those before he was even up there. He will grab a scatter shot, though, and try to push low.
Right, he said, if I can't have rockets, I'll go for the next best thing I can find, and that's going to be scatter shot bottom center here. And now he's crouching around. There, he does show up on radar.
And there are the rockets. He found him, and unfortunately, he was on the receiving end of one of them. So Kratos and crew are going to have rockets over a green. I love how he's playing right now, right? He just needs to play slow. He needs to lock down this part of the map, and he's just making sure that no one can push across. He also is making sure that he's not even getting hit by the grenades. So tries to find 2 players in fountain. Might get pushed here, but look at those grenades. They're able to block that entryway, and he's going to thrust right back up onto catwalk, somehow staying alive this entire time. But finally, he will fall, and I want to show you Stellar. He's got the sniper rifle in hand. Might be able to do something here. He's back in his own base, so I like that play. Kyle, you know, as a pro player, it's so important to clear out those players out of your base before you push out.
Right, absolutely. Leaving a player to come and flank you from behind, it can definitely disrupt and stop any kind of flag cap you're putting together. You know, when you kill that player, they're going to spawn on the other side of the map. You know, the best thing is to find them off spawn again before you grab it.
Right, tries to get away. I like what I saw from Stellar just there. Go over to Victory X, who's still trying to stop that flag from being ran, as it looks like it might be taking a new route now around bottom. And yes, it's already in the fountain, so Victory X needs to double back, but I don't think so. Kratos is actually going to be able to run that flag in, and Allegiance will go up 1-0. Keep in mind, they're already up 2-0 in the series, but I tell you what, it looks like Allegiance was able to turn really something. I mean, turn that flag run into something out of nothing, right? I mean, they threw it bottom middle, and they just tried to get it across. It looked like that was going to be stopped, but Kratos actually will fall, so his teammate Naded will need to slow down with this flag run here.
Right, they ran that flag so quickly. There is a great plays by Allegiance in order to do so. Would want to see Renegades kind of set up a little bit better, maybe instead of focusing on stopping the flag, setting up and trying to get like a counter cap in that situation. And unfortunately, what they've done is they've allowed Allegiance to once again get the new rockets.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Naded here. He just ran past that flag to bait it out, then turns around and hits the rocket with the thrust. They're already up 1-0. His flag is away. It looks like both flags are away, so he needs to be careful here. He does get hit markers, but he will eventually fall. So we'll go over to Suspector, who has now run this flag all the way back, wants to deliver it, and is going to hang up on this ledge, as it does give him a good vantage point. He actually surprisingly doubles back there. It looks like he knew he had help from Naded. Naded will, Spartan will fall, but we have a little bit of a flag standoff here. We'll take a look on the other side of the stage. We have Victory X with the rocket launcher in hand, and look at that. He finds the opponent right there, and I think he's going to try to get this return quickly if he's able to. And actually, he just gets the pull there, so I was looking at the wrong side of the map there, as they're still down 0-1.
Right, and this is a good situation for Renegades to be in. They have the rockets. They are going to hopefully pick up another kill here, but they might get a return.
Oh my gosh, that's an L-Town return, which means that Suspector is able to bring it in. We saw how quick yesterday Allegiance can play Coliseum Capture the Flag. They had a game in under 3.5 minutes, and right now they're playing this match just as fast. Well, not just as fast, but quite fast as well. They're up 2-0.
And they actually killed all 4 members of Renegades when they did capture that and ran another flag.
That flag cut across again, so Allegiance just too strong as they ran that last flag back. Like you said, Kyle, if you can kill all 4 members of the enemy team as you're capping, you're in a pretty good position to do it again, right, as you run the flag back. So that's exactly what they did. And I see Renegades, man, they just could not. Look at the low-scoring game we have here. I mean, 8-5 from Naded, 6-5 from L-Town.
Now, have you ever seen anything like this? We have a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that's right. A Victory X going 1-5-2 there. So I mean, not terribly bad numbers if we look at it in terms of actual damage done there with the assists, but. That game was 3:44, so I'll actually take back my words. They finished it in almost the exact same amount of time as you called it. They were running that last flag. You see the Spartan, the dog, they're not too thrilled with that result. Allegiance is just too strong on Capture the Flag Coliseum, but you called it. If you're able to get 4 opponents down while you're capping, at the second you're capping a flag, it's going to be far, far too difficult to get off the respawn. So that's when you see something like a double cap.
Yeah, and that's something we really haven't seen much this event at all. I don't know if there has been another double cap, but that's exactly what happens when you're able to capitalize, run a flag, and then perfectly kill a team, and run a second flag as well.
And it was an immediate pull, right? I mean, the only way for them to close that out was immediately pulling the flag the second the Kratos pushed. And you have to know on the Allegiance side that, on the Renegade side, as if we're dropping right as they're getting the return and pulling, we're in a lot of trouble, and that's exactly what they did.
Right, and I don't think Allegiance or Renegades really realized what exactly just happened at the end of the game. They all went 4 down after, having the opponent's team in their own base. Right. They went from having the opponent's team in their own base to losing within the next 15 to 20 seconds.
That's exactly it, and they close out that match super fast. That's the second time they've won Capture the Flag Coliseum in under 4 minutes this weekend. We're going to be watching out for them as they play that game type throughout the rest of the Halo World Championship, North American Regionals, of course, and potentially the Grand Finals. But I would not want to face that team on Capture the Flag Coliseum. They are clearly far, far too proficient in the strategy there. But the next game is going to be Strongholds on Empire. Of course, Allegiance in a position here to close out the series with a commanding 4-0. To win a bronze medal is one thing. To win it in a 4-0 sweep is another. They can have a lot of confidence moving out to the rest of the events on the Halo World Championship Tour.
Not only that, but if they close this series out with a 4-0, I would say the first, second, and third place teams here at X Games are setting themselves above, a step above everyone else right now competing.
I certainly think so as well. That's kind of been the trend that we've seen, and these teams clearly have been on top. Renegades has 72% of the community's vote somehow on Twitter with hashtag HaloWC. You can go ahead and vote. Looks like Renegades is just a fan favorite. Allegiance only has 28% of your vote, but no matter, they're up 3-0 in the series and only 1 game away from closing it out. But, of course, lots of talent on the Renegades roster. Can they do something like a 4-0 sweep? Walshy was saying, I don't think we've ever seen something like that in a best-of-7, but it is certainly possible. Victory X and Spartan the Dog will need to turn on the jets and get going. But Strongholds Empire, if you're Allegiance, you're feeling good. You have the momentum off the first 3, and you're ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. And being a best-of-7 as opposed to a best-of-5, a 2-0 lead, going for that third game is completely different than a 3-0 lead going for the fourth game, because we're looking, in order for Renegades to make any kind of comeback here, we're looking at another 30 to 45 minutes of them having to play out of their minds.
That's right. Bare minimum, they would have to play some of the most strategic and I think kind of together Halo that we've ever seen for, like you said, a half hour, 45 minutes, potentially longer if they want to win this series. So they have a mountain to climb here if they want to come back at the X Games. But Renegades now even more, 71% of the vote here to see if they'll be able to win. Lots of Renegades fans in the house, of course. Ninja, as well as Spartan the Dog, pulling in some of the folks on Twitch as well as Twitter. But speaking of, thank you so much for joining us for today's bronze medal match here at the X Games. This is Halo's first time in the X Games. Elamite and I are thrilled to be here. We hope you're having a good time watching this weekend as well. Still to come after this, don't forget, it's the gold medal match, the one you've been waiting for. It's CLG versus EG, a best-of-7 final match to determine who will walk away and enter the Halo history and X Games history books as the first Halo gold medalist. That's coming up in just a bit, but first, we got to see who's going to take home this bronze hardware as well. Game number 4 is going to be Strongholds on Empire. Players looks like they are all loaded in, and here is the map. Empire for the 4th match, potentially the final if Allegiance can close it out. And my gosh, this is a chaotic Strongholds game type, Elamite.
Absolutely. You constantly see players funneling bottom center, trying to get control there and hold that hill. It is so easy to defend it when you spawn. You almost have a direct line of sight to throw nades into that hill, which makes it so difficult.
And here's Spartan the Dog throwing that first nade out. Looks like that OS was not burned just yet. Ninja tries to go for the burn, but as I scan across the screens, looks like it was stolen. And my gosh, it was Naded who came flying in out of nowhere, I think, from Turbine, flanked around, grabbed it, and kept going. So Nated going to have that overshield. He's even going to try to shut down the blue cap, and it looks like he might be able to do it. Victory X, though, taking off a lot of that overshield, but Nated is going to be able to pick up the double kill. Look at his team flying and flooding towards blue base here as they gain 2, and they're going to go for total control off the break.
Right, this is worst case scenario for Renegades right now. Down 3-0 in the series, have a terrible start to game 4. They really need to turn this around right now.
Nated also has scatter shot in Tower 3, which is not good either, but you got to wonder if they're going to be going for tower control or turbine. Typically, we see a lot of teams try to control turbine because it gives you those opportunities to rotate around the map, but we'll go over to Ninja on the Renegades side here as he's trying to steal blue. Looks like he might be able to do it, yes, and Renegades will be scoring here. They do have control of red base for a moment as well as blue, but red they are losing, so they'll lose control again here as it looks like Allegiance is able to grab red and bottom middle. It looks like Ninja and crew, I like the direction here. They're trying to get that turbine control, but unable to do so. So now back over to Spartan the Dog. He's got the Storm Rifle at turbine, but him and Suspector will trade. So now over to L-Town.
Right, and what we just saw in Turbine there was Nated picks up a double kill, dies, and there's a trade between Spartan and I believe it was Suspector. That's something you can't afford to be having happen when you're losing the series and you don't have control of the strongholds.
That's right. Of course, OV not too long from now, possibly around 30 seconds, will be coming up again. So, you know, L-Town and crew want to get around Turbine. They want to be ready to drop on that. It looks like lays down a grenade that will not have any hit markers. So we'll go back over to Ninja here, who's trying to push outside through that grenade, and he does have the Storm Rifle in hand, also finds the scatter shot. So teams are now setting up around Turbine because they want to grab that overshield. But take a look at the score. Renegades does not have time to waste, right? It's already 34-2.
Right, and part of that came from that triple cap they had early in the game here. Now, we are getting some points, and that new OS is going to be spawning in just a few seconds. Triple kill out of Suspector. I believe that's looking like...
That's it, and he's going to get the burn on the overshield. I believe we have a rec pack coming, but let me tell you, Kyle, I saw Suspector around top middle, and I knew he was going to be the player to not only get those kills. Well, I didn't know he was going to get the kills, but I knew he was going to get the overshield. He happened to get a triple kill as well. Here's the rec code that he has earned you. Big plays there, but all the while, Renegades does not cannot afford to be wasting this time. They're now down 41-6, and it looks like they still have not been able to get control of the map. But a double kill from Spartan to try to give them some energy to capture this bottom pit. He's also going to go for red as well as they try to go for total control.
Right, and I believe this is the third time they've started accumulating points here with the stronghold bases, and they're only at 8 seconds. It just shows you how little time they've been able to hold the hills.
Right, so Spartan desperately trying to stay alive, and he's able to do so. But of course, they're going to be losing pit. We'll see if they can stop that. Yes, that's a great job on the defense, and they will reset it. So I have to say, the push to red and then resetting is not bad, but still, it looks like actually they lost red during all the while they were trying to get pit back as well. So Allegiance is just all over them.
They are really all over the place. We saw some great plays from Spartan, controlling, keeping them out of that hill, getting the reset, but unfortunately it's just too little. They're not able to keep control of the side bases and maintain bottom pit.
I think we saw a great play there from L-Town. He picks up a double kill, and it looks like, I mean, the fact that they got red base, 3 members were at red base, then they push for pit. They get the reset on pit, but they've already lost red. That's incredible. I mean, Allegiance is playing one step ahead of them throughout this entire game now as they're down. Allegiance is up 55-15, but for a brief moment, Renegades will have control of the strongholds. But of course, the Team Allegiance and Suspector himself will have something to say about that. Look at this Storm Rifle work. Finally, he will fall. We'll go over back to Nated.
You're right, and we talk about how it's just players funneling to that bottom mid hit if they don't have bottom mid hill, if they don't have control of that. So huge plays out of Allegiance. They were able to almost capture that, not quite, but still pick up enough kills and grab the side bases.
And look at this push right there. I love that, what we're seeing from Kratos. I believe that was Kratos and Suspector who pushed across. They tried to get a stop there, but L-Town trying to make something happen. Bottom on overshield, but no, Stellar is the player who's able to get the overshield on that play. So they're going to try to make a push here. They did have 3 dead. Ooh, Stellar goes for the melee. Despite them having total control, that's going to hurt. He's going to have to wait to respawn. So back over to Victory X, who's trying to make something happen against Kratos, and yes, indeed, uses several grenades and several scatter shots to do just that. Might even be able to pick up this kill as well, trying to use this ledge, and looks like he might be able to sniff that player out, but they got away. But I have to tell you, they're putting points on the board here. Renegades is trying to get back in this match.
And I don't know how that just happened, because we just saw a huge yes, Renegades got OS, but Nated completely outplayed Stellar in that situation. It's not something you want to see. However, Victory is running around with his scatter shot, controlling the map. He's killing people up close. He's zooming in and sniping people with it as well.
That's right. He'll fire the last shot of the scatter shot, then he'll trade it out there. They'll put it on the respawn now as it's 2. They still continue to have control of these 2 points. So Allegiance really knows they just need to reset reset a few times, they still have the lead and they can get this back. But it looks like as Kratos is just coming down, I'm not sure exactly if he's waiting for the overshield or what, if he just didn't get the charge off Victory X there, but somehow, by some form of a miracle, he's still alive, and finally, he will die. And we'll go over to Kratos, who's actually fighting for that pit. He's trying to capture that. But once again, Allegiance is in control of the map.
Right, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure what just happened in that situation. It almost looked like he was taunting.
It reminded me of the Royal 2 when he sat ring 1 and just waited to hit the no-scope, but unfortunately he only had a plasma pistol, so you can't exactly do that type of stuff. Allegiance now up 74-43, only 25 points away from closing this out and winning an X Games bronze medal.
Right, it is amazing here, and they're already 3-0 up in the series, and these games been pretty convincing as well as far as who's winning them, who's coming out on top.
Oh my gosh, look at that. He hits the grenade as well. Kratos will come in and actually hit the shot before the grenade even hits. You saw he didn't get the assist there, which means Kratos even beat him to the punch. They know exactly where to push here. It's Turbine, but, Tower, but they didn't anticipate the red spawn. So Victory X here rocking the Boomco AR, trying to do some damage at Tower. Can't kill Nated, and that's also a story of the series, right? Allegiance has been so difficult to kill, but look at the scoreboard. It's 87-43. Not much time left as Victory and Renegades are going to try to steal control of the pit here. But here comes Kratos with the ground pound, and actually I think he might even get away with it here on Victory X. No, Victory saves face, but we got to switch over POVs to Nated and crew because they are only 8 points away from closing this game out. 3 dead though on their squad. L-Town's the only player alive. Might try to pick up another one. Does he get the reset? Only for a second. So now we'll go ahead back over to, let's see, L-Town stay with him off the respawn here. Only 2 seconds left. So 94, they finally lose control. So take a look at the bottom right. You see the 2 ticks next to the blue team. That means that Renegades have finally gained control and are now scoring. But just as quickly as I say that, they capture pit again. Only 5 points for Team Allegiance to get X Games bronze.
Right. We're about to crown our very first medal winning team here, and I don't see there being enough time for them to come back right now. We are looking at the very first bronze medalist.
And that is it. L-Town already standing in his booth. They have Allegiance and crew have won X Games bronze here. They'll win the 3rd, 4th medal match. And it looks like on the other side, Renegades, of course, will be going home empty-handed. Nated and crew, they came here to win this tournament. However, they're still leaving with X Games bronze medals. And like you said, in a commanding fashion, not just a 4-0 win, but also each game itself was pretty dominant.
Right. It's hard to make a case that, Renegades, although they were favored on that Twitter poll, it's hard to make a case after watching that series that they're the better team here against Allegiance. Allegiance, although they're finishing 3rd, Nated, the first place victory eludes him once more with this event. But like we were talking about earlier in this tournament, we've got world championships coming up as well.
There are much bigger prize pools in terms of dollars on the line coming up in the Halo World Championship. We have North American Regionals, as well as the Grand Finals, the prize pool of which is already at $2 million and growing. So Nated, of course, he and his team, they have to be happy with bronze, right? I mean, they had one last match and they won that last victory, right? They got to be feeling good. They will leave with Winter X hardware, and next they have to set their sights on North American Regionals. They need to get ready for the next step. But coming out with a 3rd place and a dominant 3rd place victory, they have to feel pretty good, and you bet other teams are going to be fearing them.
Oh, absolutely. And what they're going to do now here going forward, besides celebrating, of course, is going to be watching this upcoming finals, CLG, EG. These are the 2 teams that, beats or can beat Allegiance right now, and Allegiance with their first place goal in mind here. They're going to watch these games, see what these teams are doing, steal their strats, adapt their strats, whatever it is, learn them so they can counter them going up forward in the future here. There's still a lot for them to do here, but definitely big weight off their shoulders. Their tournament run is done, and they're walking away with that bronze.
That's right. I mean, you got to feel good. Keep in mind, there's only 12 medals here, right? There's 4 golds, 4 silvers, 4 bronzes. Over 32 players came in here to play this weekend, but they are 4 of the few that are leaving with X Games medals. Big congrats to them. They're the first Halo players in history to be awarded X Games medals. But of course, there's a lot more Halo to play here with our grand finals. Evil Geniuses versus CLG coming up next. I cannot wait to see this matchup unfold. Everything is on the line here, right? The Halo history books, X Games history, esports history. We're going to see who is able to grab this first Halo gold medal.
And I do want to bring up another point as well. EG has been dominating the scene here for quite some time, and that was when Lethal was on the team, of course. Well, EG is generally the same. Whoever wins this event is going to continue that win streak that they've had. I'm not exactly sure the count right now, but we're looking at 5 or 6 victory wins in a row for either Lunchbox, Roy, and Snipedown or Lethal.
That's right, exactly that. So just like you said, those teammates, before they had split, they'd won undefeated in the last few months of Halo 2 Anniversary, coming into the first major live event, which team, which player and players specifically will continue that unbeaten streak. Only one can do so. But we have Ben on the floor with Naded after that third-place victory. Ben, what's going on?
Thanks, Bravo. As you said, down on the floor with Naded. First of all, congratulations, walking away with the X Games medal. It's must be a good feeling. Obviously, I know you were looking for gold, but nevertheless, how does it feel to kind of make history in Halo?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome. You know, we got a medal. Obviously, like you said, came here for the gold. And I'd like to definitely apologize to my teammates, man. I definitely dropped the ball there in that EG series. I could have played a lot better, but I'm gonna definitely just keep working hard, learn from it, and you know, we got regionals coming up, which is gonna be a big tournament, and you know, I guess just walk away with what we got and just move on.
Coming into the event, a lot of people kind of looked at your squad and said, hey, this is a team that's only going to be good online. We're not really worried about it when it comes to, you know, a live event. I think you've done a really good job of proving a lot of people, if not everyone, wrong. So what can you take from this experience here at X Games going into regionals?
Yeah, I mean, I knew, you know, there was a lot of chatter about our team and stuff, you know, whether we were going to play good on land. But, I mean, we knew we were going to come out and play really well. And, you know, we played EG tough. You know, we lost a pretty close series, man. You know, we could have easily been playing this gold medal match coming up. And, like I said earlier, you just got to learn from it. And we got 2 huge tournaments coming up with the regionals and the finals. So just looking forward to that.
Any specific preparation that you're going to have for regionals?
Honestly, just same thing with what I've been doing, just playing every day. I mean, I have like 10 champion accounts, so, you know, yeah, maybe I'll get 20. You know, we'll see. But yeah, just keep working hard, you know, and just keep learning, man. That's all we can do, so.
Congratulations once again on the bronze medal. You definitely deserve it. From myself and Naded, though, for now, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we return, more Halo 5 action.